live.
Never won't say it. 30 seconds is a long time when you're actually looking at it.
Yes. Watching that tick down. Nice. How is everybody doing? Looks like the chat is already going. Yeah.
The chat's already going?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going. It's going.
Let me toss some gasoline on the chat. David Lynch's Dune is superior to Denis Villeneuve, and Colin McLaughlin is, and forever will be the quiz outside run. There you go.
That's nonsense.
Nonsense! I will leave right now.
That is nonsense. Colin McLaughlin was like 27 or whatever when he was Paul Atreides.
Doesn't matter. Ooh, we're getting. Someone said bad mic.
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
Uh-oh, poppin'? Loud? Wrong mic? Oh, wrong mic. Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe we've got the... Thank you, guys. Let's find out. Wrong mic, wrong mic. Thank goodness for the chat. Let's try this one.
How's that no chat?
Better. Oof, wrong mic, wrong mic. Okay, let's try that again. And we are live again.
We're coming through okay now?
Yes.
Have we mentioned we're professionals?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so that 30 seconds is it. Let's do just a few more seconds of silence here. Actually, let's just go back again.
Okay, here we go.
All right, one more time.
Wow, a full minute of silence. All right.
There we go. Should we do that again? I think that was the most exciting part of the cast. All right, that'll be fun to cut up. But yeah, I should be able to find that. So sorry for the false start.
A couple people say better, so okay.
Better. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's yeah. So that was probably the camera audio. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet it was coming over there.
Yeah, because both of them are going in on unmarked USB inputs, so it's
right.
There's no way to know, because there was no audio when I first got everything going. There was no audio, so I had to pick one, and I seemed like I was picking the good one. Yeah, it seemed like it was an okay one. Yeah, that's the big problem with this setup is I can't monitor the audio. I guess I could from speakers once it's going through. There is no way to know. So
what you're saying is we need to hire an intern.
Yes,
somehow
right.
Okay.
So I rely on the chat very much because it sounds great on the mixer, but if it's not using the mics that are going through the mixer, then it's not great.
I'm very much enjoying this Marvel movie style lighting that's going on.
Oh yeah, that's
because
right.
the little kind of heater is over here illuminating this side of everything, and then we've got hot on this side and cool on this side, right? It's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Not a post-production effect.
No, yeah, this is
practical effects.
It's all in camera.
Practical effects, like the Stage 4 Guild Navigator.
Oh boy, yes.
Come on,
that was just the puppet from Eraserhead.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're telling me you didn't feel something when the Ixians rolled out that giant thing and it all. Come on. Okay, I will agree. Scenes of the latest movie were pretty damn cool.
Yeah, the editing, the scoring, the composition, the art direction, and
the story itself.
But it's so superior visually, and it was just that was the limitations because all that bad green screen and stuff they had to do for the worms and stuff that doesn't, with digital grading and everything now you can fix all that.
Sorry, Denis Villeneuve's Dune is inferior, mostly because, or solely because, there were not enough thoughts. Give me my thought monologues, right?
I thought it was pretty amazing. I mean, that was a lot of heavy lifting to put on the actors.
Yep. To
actually, make them portray stuff that's happening internally, so that we actually know what they're going through. And in some cases, they had, I think, Lady in the new ones, Lady Jessica emoting a lot more, especially in the first one, where you didn't see that she was under control. She had to be freaking out, when Paul was doing the Gom Jabbar deal. She was freaking out, and you so that kind of broke she's Benny Gesserit and she has like total control of everything, but they had to be able to show that, you know, some way without her saying, "Oh, I hope Paul gets through this." Okay.
No, they could have done interior monologues, right?
I don't. That's a little. I mean, that. Yeah.
Come on,
that's
Colin
1940s
Hunter Seeker.
detective.
Where's it coming from?
Yeah.
No, sorry. All right, I'll stop.
Yeah, it didn't make Blade Runner better, and it doesn't make Dune better.
Right, Blade Runner 2047 is a fucking travesty of a movie.
Oh no, that's right. It's another. I stepped in another villain.
You
in a
did.
trap.
You did. Another villain pile of shit. All right. Sorry. Whoops. All right, moving on.
Nice. Yes. Oh yeah, and speaking of what's happening, they were already talking about this earlier in the chat. I'll flip over to another scene here. So we're not doing an actual play of the regular kind tomorrow. We're doing an actual play of a game show.
Ooh,
so Matt put together a game show for us, and here's a little trailer. Now the audio is probably going to be really bad for this because it's going to come out of the computer speakers. But hang in here. So I put this together as a little opener.
Mm-hmm.
And there it goes. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on? Oh, that's right. I got to play it from the window. That's right. It's not a video. It's a window. So you put together this little dealio here. I'm sure the neighbors downstairs are going to love this. Hey, all right. So I can't fade that out. There it goes. So look forward to that in the usual place. Yeah, in the usual place of our. Oh, that's okay. Stop it. Stop it already. It's looping. How does it do that? Yeah, sorry. So I couldn't. Last week, Matt asked me to play that, and I had no way to play it, but I finally was able to download it from Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so that's a little promo. And there'll be a little bumper. That last little bit will be the bumper, maybe in between rounds and scenes and stuff. But yeah, the Leastus Mostus will be coming. Yeah, we're give that a shot. So it's going to be a hybrid. We're actually going to be using part of a VTT and part of Discord, and I think part of like a PowerPoint type presentation.
Frankenstein's monster of technology.
Yeah, we'll figure out. We'll smooth it out. This will be kind of our trial.
Right. I like
trial run. But yeah, so thanks so much, Matt, for doing all the heavy lifting, putting the questions together, and coming up with the format and everything. So, and being the host, yes, we'll see. So the two teams, team-based. Geek quiz show. So nerd questions on a quiz show.
Okay. Yep.
Yes. So cool. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, in our regularly actual play time. So yeah, about this time.
Okay. Agent Carolina had a good question. When will they see me playing in one of these games? Short answer: when my kid is old enough to take care of himself.
Oh yeah, right. Yes. So yeah, give it 10 years or so. It should be fine.
10 years she'll be out of the house, I think.
Right.
Which is not something I'm looking forward to. I don't want to be one of them people.
No.
Yeah. It's incredibly difficult to get out when you are your kid's like sole source of entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Well, it won't be long before she'll ignore you completely.
Not to be that guy, I'm honestly kind of looking forward to that, right? I look forward to the times when I can go to the bathroom and not just like have someone immediately open the door, right?
Nice.
Anyway, all right.
So game-wise, what have you been up to? What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. I've been slowly painting more 6mm little people because this is the year where I'm going to nothing bigger than 6 millimeters. Yeah. I'm at the age where I should have written down the paints I used to do this because I got to paint 33 more of these little horse archers.
Right.
And I'm like, that looks great.
Yeah.
How the fuck did I do it?
Right. Yeah, I'm really bad at that too. It's such a good idea to take notes and so you remember, especially if you paint something and then you have to go back and you want to add to it. It's like I have no idea, or the paint is like dyed on you.
Yeah.
Like you got it dried out.
I think I'm going off of Vallejo game color paints and liking Vallejo model color paints more, specifically because of like how they're named, like Imperial Purple and like Hexwraith Purple and all that stuff. Like, okay, they're not as bad as GW paints, where they at least often say the name of the color in there, like Hot Orange, right? Is a lot easier for me to know what it is than like Magma Droth Fur. It's like, but like model color paints, which are kind of more their military stuff, are like they more often have the name of the color in the name, right? Like Flat Earth Brown, right? Whatever military uniform gray, right? And that helps me as someone who has trouble with color a lot more. So I think despite trying to buy as many of the game color paints as I could, I think I'm going to go over to model color paints, which is fine because the protest is done. Right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like the workers actually kind of
resolved.
They resolved it.
Oh,
like the workers actually kind of got what they wanted. So I don't feel like a scab.
Somebody actually listened to. Yeah, that's amazing. They actually got somebody to say, "Yeah, I guess we don't want to completely devalue this company and have to sell it off in pieces." Wow, nice. Well, that's good. That's good that they will continue to be because that would have been terrible to lose them for the. I would have had to switch over to like
Army Painter or something.
Right.
Which.
I love the Army Painter colors, like totally not ultramarine blue.
Well, I mean, like, I can't buy any more paint than I already have, right? But I did like how on the side of the new Army, like War Paint 2.0, whatever, Fanatic, says dark, warm purple, where I'm like, that is...
Oh, that's good, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot they have their new paints out there, new like kind of heavy pigment paints,
Yeah. Anyway.
Nice. Yeah, those are, it just, we need distribution, or maybe I guess the UK needs better distribution for their stuff here because that'd be nice to get some Army Painter supplies here.
I don't even think I've seen the only reason not the only reason, but I like them. But I started with Vallejo because they're just available right in the shop. I can
there's actually shop retail that carries them.
Anyway,
that's true. All right, okay. Well, good to see everybody in the chat. Let's get started for this week. Yeah, very cool. I just woke up. Okay. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Gotham City Chronicles again.
Again? Oh, okay.
Yes, the Sutra of Pale Leaves. Okay. Trench Crusade Late Pledge for STLs. Sqwürmish, a vast, grim, Forbidden Psalm skirmish game. And Diamond Distribution Bankrupt. Yeah, surprise. Yeah, so we're kind of... And it is tabletop related, oddly enough, because right before they went bankrupt, they started to distribute tabletop games.
Which is why they went bankrupt.
Yeah, all right. Hopefully that's not connected. All right, so let's start off with... So this is... so Monolith keeps going back to the trough with... And every time I'm like, I don't want to play Batman. So Batman Gotham City Chronicles is back. So this is a new version, like a newer kind of updated version that they're calling, what are they calling it? Their Skyline Edition of the RPG. And then the Sidekick kind of supplement, which is all the minis. So they've been Monolith has been doing Batman since 2018. They made 4.4 million on their original Kickstarter, which produced 162 miniatures for the Gotham City Chronicles board game. They returned in 2023 with Season 3 and the RPG release. So now they're saying, well, all those miniatures we have, well, you can just you can use those for the RPG, and they probably paid a pretty penny to have. Some professional actual players do a session, but they were all cosplaying like the villain, like Batman villains and stuff. So I was it was not great, and I don't think it sold the game well, because the thing that is actually interesting about this game is they do like 3 levels of playing in Gotham City. You can play as a regular everyday reporter detective. You can play as the kind of mafia presence in Gotham City, or you can play as the Penguin, the Joker, Catwoman.
Oh, you're playing villain. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So they're giving you like these levels to play in, and I think as we saw with the Penguin streaming series, just playing the organized crime in Gotham City is pretty interesting. With no Batman present, there's a lot to do there. So because the city is such a mess, so that's a little bit interesting about Gotham City, but it doesn't seem like playing these really established characters, and I don't know as far as like heroes and villains, because it's the whole Bat family and every Batman villain ever that they made miniatures and everything for. So that's never seemed very compelling. But hearing about like how you can play kind of periphery, and it would be kind of cool, like if there is some mechanics for it. Yeah, you're playing the little guys, and there's something crazy that happens with the Joker, and that's going to affect everything. Not directly. You're not like talking to him, but let's,
no.
the
Like
city
you could,
is,
I don't know what you could represent that mechanically, but in like a game, it kind of gives the GM narrative permission to go, oh, by the way, this kind of wacky thing happened that disrupts your plans, and you kind of go, oh, okay, fine, yeah, fair enough, right? So like, oh yeah, the Joker's kind of stolen all the vans that you were gonna do your heist in, right?
Right. Yeah, so this is a Gamefound project where the previous ones were Kickstarter. So yeah, Skyline Edition, which is a slipcover version of all 3 books for the RPG, and then the Sidekick content, which is 127 of the 162 miniatures that were made previously for the board games, and they're decent sculpts and everything, and they're also producing things like tile maps, locations, dice, and trays. So basically probably modified board game tiles and things like they did with Conan. So yeah, we'll see. It's Pixel Circus is the ones that did the professional actual play. So if you like to see people kind of half-assly cosplay Batman villains, check out Villains Take Gotham.
They don't have like Pixel VTuber people.
No, they don't. No, that might have helped a little bit, but so there's a lot of support, and a lot of prototypes got sent out, so people were kind of demoing things, and I guess because they've had so many seasons and stuff, there's a lot to show off. But so I just thought it was interesting that they actually knew maybe there's other things to do in this setting other than just play Batman and the Riddler. But and recently, the movies have taken a more realistic bent. They've kind of, so that might be a little tricky to kind of have an RPG that isn't going to be completely ridiculous. It's going to be a little more grounded.
Right.
Might be
so
some
Batman's not like running around carrying a bomb and then.
Like,
this way's over a nun. Or this way's a like
right.
baby carriage.
The big fuse on it. Right. Yeah. They should have. Or are we playing Adam West, or are we playing Christopher Nolan? What are we doing? Yeah. So so I'll put the link to that if you want to check that out. I'm not sure. I mean, there's something there, and there's got to be a fun way to play superheroes. Well, masks. We had a nice. We had a fun time.
But I am coming around to agreeing with people who say masks is not like the focus of masks is not. You're a superhero. The focus of Mask is you're a teenager and you're figuring crap out, and all these people, right? So, like, if you wanted to play like a straight up superhero game, I would actually recommend a different game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're not going to get the you're not going to be punching the super mutants and stuff. Yeah, that's true. Well, here's a game that I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
The comments I don't think quite understand what's going on here. But
when have comments ever understood what's going on?
So that makes me worried that the designers and developer, or the publisher, is not quite sure either. But Call of Cthulhu is getting a new King in Yellow adventure set in 80s Japan.
This is Chaosium?
Yes, Chaosium. So Chaosium is giving us a new adventure. And so is technically the King in Yellow part of the mythos, the Lovecraft, like Cthulhu, or the whole like Elder Gods mythos? Because it's a different writer. And those stories are... I just went back recently and... read a few of those stories. They're wonderful. They're so like weird and intense, and they create like kind of alternative future worlds that have this like weird presence of this play, The King in Yellow, that like it's this
messes stuff up.
Yeah. So that's the thing that kind of contaminates the world, the thought of the existence of that, as opposed to Cthulhu or some other specific elder god. But the Sutra of Pale Leaves, Twin Suns Rising, is set in 80s Japan, and there is one Japanese name.
Well, I saw this over your shoulder, and then I thought, okay, well, is this Chaosium? Yes. Well, then I'm automatically disinterested because Mike Merles works there. Right? He's the new head of something, whatever, newish head of something. Then I went, I'm going to reserve my other judgment to hear how many Japanese-sounding people are actually involved here, and if it's like, if you said like main writer, then like I'd be like, okay, maybe. But if I'm just like, if sounds like a lot of white people named, then
yeah, well, yeah. So Yukihiro Terada is one of the creative team, and it looks like there is nobody else of Asian descent, but you never know with marriages.
You never know, right?
And
You
stuff.
never
Yeah,
know.
you never
But
know.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So yeah, so it's interesting that this tagline kind of caught me a little bit. I can see what is appealing about this. So, forgotten for centuries, the Sutra of Pale Leaves has resurfaced in 80s Japan, a time of excess, conspicuous consumption, and enormous technological change.
okay, they certainly got that part right.
Yeah, right. So,
Yeah.
so they kind of know what's interesting about that setting and why it would be fun to do this. But I think kind of the inspiration for this, and I didn't really even know this myself because I haven't even looked into Japanese language Call of Cthulhu. So in Japan, Call of Cthulhu beats the pants off of D&D. Like it's the number one tabletop RPG.
Yep.
But the domestically, meaning in Japan, developed adventures are modern day, set in high school or mundane, like Tokyo. It's just like you're a salaryman in Tokyo, you're a high school student. It's not a kind of period like 20s, investigators of the paranormal. It's more like, anime settings that have demon incursion kind of ideas. So that may have been the inspiration for this. In the English speaking or for Chaosium to say, well, this is what Japan is doing, so let's do something like this. And so then, of course, in the comments, everyone is saying, oh, this is a great move by Chaosium. This is really going to do well in Japan. It's probably never going to get translated. It's never going to
right. It's probably never going to get it translated, right? And it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, my thought was, so basically, Japanese Call of Cthulhu scenarios are X-Files.
Right.
Yeah, like set in
yes.
set in whatever current thing, and it's just kind of not X-Files and that you're, professional investigators, but just kind of normal people in kind of now. Right? So,
yeah, so they're much more like the mundane setting, so you're not playing anything historical. And someone also in the comments said, well, of course, because Japan is so problematic starting in the 20s. It's like, okay, let's not do that. But yeah, so
man, okay, something I'll say like, yeah, Japan has a lot. How many times has Call of Cthulhu been mashed up with World War II?
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to me like there's not a problematic time to do it, right? So anyway.
Yes. So, so interesting. So, kind of bubble time Japan and going for more of a mundane setting. It doesn't say specifically like, if this is going to be centered around a university like, Tokyo Miskatonic University or whatever.
This is maybe uncharitable. I'm thinking... I'm also trying to ignore people bashing PPTA and the massive. Sorry, no. My thought here is, okay, 1980s Japan, because we're kind of allowed to get stuff wrong. Hey, it was 50 years ago, right? And we can kind of, it's 50 years ago, and this is fictional, right? So we can kind of, that is my uncharitable thought of kind of a way to, lost my train of thought there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, but it also might be they could take inspiration from what's already been done in Japan because there's been 40 years of adventures written in Japanese that have probably never been translated, not been localized, and probably because Chaosium probably doesn't have the rights to it. They'd have
probably,
to buy
but
it,
that would be. I don't know how you would go about it. I don't know if it'd be popular. That would be interesting.
Oh,
how we have seen Dragonbane. Kind of the result of what's the word I'm looking for? Independent kind of evolution, essentially, of D&D in Nordic countries, right? Kind of now come back into English, right? How cool would it be to say, wow, Call of Cthulhu is the most popular role-playing game in Japan. Here's the numbers to back it up. Why don't we translate and localize Japanese written adventures?
Well, I know why, but I'm not telling you.
Okay.
There's probably some pretty... for the current sensitivities, there's probably a lot of problematic stuff in there, and they probably don't mind the insanity concept. They don't mind the idea of insanity, and they're going to treat mental health a little more, casually.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
So
point.
yeah. So it would take some manipulation. It wouldn't be you wouldn't get a true experience of what they were trying to do, because I think a lot of it would be anime inspired or like.
You think so? The stuff that's here that would get they're in here. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's an interesting attempt, and they did. It seems like they got Kasumi Lang is doing the cover art, so they got at least a Japanese artist to do the cover, married to Damon Lang. I imagine
you can't assume by name, but yeah.
Yes. and plus a lot of people take Japanese names as their nom de plume online.
The little bit of the Marvel debacle that I know. I didn't want. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Yep.
But I'll put a link to that, and we'll see. They don't give a release date for this. Oh, 2025. Yeah.
Which is this year.
Yeah. So it's coming sometime this year. But yes, if you haven't read the King in Yellow stories, please do that, because I think that would be much more enjoyable than a American version of 80s Japan.
There's a lot there, and 80s Japan is interesting, but I would very much want it written by a Japanese person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or at least have good consultation on factually what you're doing. But I have I just released the flip through of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness.
Nice.
So that was a kind of a Christmas present to the members.
Did your brain leak out the ears?
Yeah, no. Yeah, so, and it was confusing. Watch the video and find out what didn't get taken out in second edition, because I thought they really did edit a lot of the, calling homosexuality a mental illness and pedophilia. Yeah, so there are some interesting things in that original version, and that's a second printing. So I thought that was going to be the edited version, but it wasn't.
They just didn't have files available to edit. Like, we got to just print the whole thing.
Right. Because the layout was looking a little strange. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if stuff is missing here, because things got a little spread out. But yeah, we got to the pages, and it's all still intact. So find out what it was like in the 80s to talk about mental illness. And but I also take a look at also the original comics, a bunch of the supplements, which I really think they did a nice job with. Kind of taking the inspiration from those early comics. And if your only kind of knowledge of that property is the animation and the later movies and stuff, it was an indie comic. Like, it was an 80s indie comic, like self-published, black and white comic. So it was gritty and weird and kind of a parody of Daredevil, kind of the Daredevil origin. So it was fun, fun and kind of like, gritty and it got just turned into a kiddie property. And there was actually an interesting quote from one of the Palladium guys that said, as soon as that cartoon hit, the sales just tanked on this game, because nobody wanted to play a Saturday morning cartoon kiddie game that their little cousin was into.
And now I'm thinking of all the Saturday morning cartoon inspired games that are coming out now.
Right. Yes. So I was busy working on that. So I'm a major effort to do stuff for the member area and then release it. So giving the members first shot at a lot of the bigger, longer format things. But what I need to do that is energy and focus. So how do I do that? Well, our friends at Magic Mind are back with us to introduce their new combination of products. So it's not a single product anymore. And the thing that their kind of new concept is mental wealth. So talking about investment in your mental wealth as far as diet, exercise, and everything that would help you be more focused, sleep better, and just function better. And so do
they have something that'll babysit my kid?
That would be good. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit about this, because they did send samples again. So thank you, Magic Mind, for actually sending us the product to try. So sleep, diet, exercise, stress management, and exogenous compounds, so things, caffeine, things you would take outside to improve your performance. And one of those things could be Magic Mind. And so the thing that they're doing now is coupling that, or there's so during the day, Magic Mind helps you with focus, and Magic Mind Sleep will help you sleep. And one of the interesting things, I was reading the ingredients, and one of the major ingredients of the sleep is magnesium. And I guess that's a thing that's important to have for deeper sleep. And there's kind of an interesting thing. So once you're doing something like this, like specifically focusing on being sharper and more focused, and also sleeping better, you do the behaviors kind of follow. Because when I was not getting enough sleep and I tried the Magic Mind Sleep, it was much harder to wake up in the morning because I was sleeping much deeper. Right. So it kind of forces you to make to get extra sleep, to make sure you're getting your 6 to 8 hours, instead of just staying up too late and then sneaking it in, because your body's going to tell you much more. I was trying to get some good sleep here, and you screwed it all up. So they are. So this is kind of a 24-hour thing that they're doing now instead of just something during the day. And of course, Magic Mind, you can still use your coffee to wake up in the morning, and just pairing it with this sustained caffeine release and extra focus, stress management, reduced inflammation, all kinds of wonderful things that Magic Mind can do for you. And now Magic Mind Sleep can give you the extra benefit of better mental functioning just because you've rested. So there's no better time. Start now. And I guess we're a little bit past New Year's resolutions, but you can build your mental resistance and invest in your mental wealth with Magic Mind. So what they've done for us is giving us a code. Oh, and that's what I'm not showing you. Hey, guys. Boom. There we go. So I'm gonna have to. I usually use that when I edit. So I'm doing terrible today. So they give us a URL that you can follow. So magicmind.com/upturnedpodjan, and so it's a January promotion for Magic Mind.
I got it now.
Yes, and it will give you 45% off of the bundle of Magic Mind and Magic Mind Sleep. And so they've got a couple of different ways you can do it. And they also do it as a subscription. So cool. If you try it and just want to not have to worry about it being delivered, they now do ship internationally to 65 countries, so not only North America, and are in retail stores, including Sprouts, H-E-B, Central Market, and more. Nice. So 100% refund, no questions asked for 100 days after purchase. So yeah, they'll really let you try it out and make sure that it's either working or not working for you. And the other thing that they talk about is their nano encapsulation. So the ingredients are broken down into much finer. The compounds are much finer than what you would find in a powder or a pill, and that's why they prefer to do the liquid shot, because the active ingredients are very small, so that means they get absorbed 5 to 10 times faster than other ways of taking that in.
Is that talk for us stupid people who aren't mentally sharp? Particles are very small.
Very small. So give it a try and use our link. So that's magicmind.com, magicmind.com, and go to the specific link, Upturn Pod Jan. So UPTURNEDPODJAN.
There's that focus.
There we go. And you'll generate a discount code then that you can use to try it out. So thank you so much, Magic Mind, for sponsoring our podcast. And we will we'll be back to the show, our regularly scheduled program.
Nice, smooth.
Boom.
We're professionals.
What's going on?
Okay, honestly, there's no. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. The time of New Year's resolutions is probably done, but I mean, realistically, you don't have to wait for the end of the year or the start of a new year to start something, right? Just start it and do it, right?
Yes. And speaking of things you may have not done yet this year.
I certainly haven't. No.
You haven't contributed to the huge total of Trench Crusade.
No, I haven't.
So they're up to $5.4 million. So that's amazing.
Getting how much of that?
Oh, yeah. So good job for Trench Crusade. And so I think it was 3 when they finished the original campaign. I think it was 3. So this is kind of happening after the fact. And they're doing late pledges, and specifically My Mini Factory is promoting late pledges for the STLs. So this will be your last chance. That's I think next 30 days will be your last chance to get the digital files to be able to print these models and print everything that they released for the special price. Of course, they're going to exist on the My Mini Factory, per model. Right, okay, yeah. But when you total everything up, it's quite a price. It gets quite pricey full retail.
Not specifically about Trench Crusade, but I wonder when these late pledge things are just going to get to the point where it's a 24-hour, 365-day thing, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's definitely. I think they realize, we did a big push. We got a good marketing push for the pledge, but there is still so many people that we have cut off.
Sure, it makes sense. Here's the funding period. Mm-hmm. If we don't raise the necessary money within this period, we're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. However, we understand like people miss things, right? People decide, okay, so we'll open it late pledge for this period. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think
things just seem to be getting longer and longer.
Yeah, well, and I think because of fulfillment and everything that is involved in some of this production, they realize it still is months or even a year before they have to give final counts to a factory. So they're like, okay, well, let's see.
Why not?
Yeah,
okay,
what else? Yeah, what else we can get? Yeah. But they're also promoting this late pledge by doing a contest. So they're exclusive painting contest through My Mini Factory. So there are 3 categories. You can enter the competition. Let me skip down to those. So the best painted, the best diorama, and the best kit bashed mini. Because
the last category, I can just submit gray plastic.
Yes, exactly. So they, yes. So originally there were no official models. They're just basically illustrations and a few examples of kind of resin models that had been adapted from those illustrations, but now there's a whole line of official Trench Crusade models, but still they encourage you to kit bash. And that's great. That's great to hear that. And with digital files, that's even easier to do because you can bring in, you can print different elements, and there's so many people doing so much interesting stuff. If you like the heads on another,
how I know how Trench Crusade has made it?
Oh, how?
I see third parties serial number filed off stuff like, here's our Trench Pilgrims.
Right.
You're just like, yep, okay. You've gotten big enough to where people are copying. Or maybe not necessarily copying, but like you said, there is room for a third party kind of scratch built kit bash stuff. And why not take advantage of that by saying, here's something that's pretty close. Use it however you want.
Right. Yeah, and I think just the kind of inspirational illustration and then the rules themselves, then the writing on the setting got people inspired to kind of like figure out, this is what, the Heretic Legion looks like. This is what the, Antioch would look, the new Antioch.
And then people like me read the rules and said, oof, no thank you. I don't want to deal with all that nonsense.
Nice. So a couple of the pledge levels that are available in late pledges is the all-in everything, all reinforcements. That's $400, but that's every STL they produced. Just the 6 war bands and their associated reinforcements, 162. So that's the 6 war bands are the Trench Pilgrims, the Heretic Legion, New Antioch, the Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent, the Sultanate of the Iron Wall, and the Black Grail. And you can also get them though just as the 6-member war bands. Okay. So I think it's about about $30. So yeah, definitely reasonable, and you're helping support this game. So they're going to keep they'll keep developing for it, and I think they will for a while because that's quite a haul. I think they did a good job kind of getting the word out and getting a kind of an excited fan base. I
guess I do have to give them credit. This is basically like organically grown, right? Like kind of like from the ground up, like we said, it started with just illustrations and then partnering with people to sculpt a few miniatures, and then out of that, right, like this is, again, not to use the word, like organically grown rather than just kind of something put together by a corporation.
Yeah, it's a small team. They didn't have like some big investor throw a bunch of money. There's no lawyer or anything behind this. This is actually like people that, the designers and artists and creatives that want to make this game. And they all have full-time jobs. Like they're all, I think Tomas is at Sony still. So yeah, there's like people with like big full-time jobs, and this is their passion. So you're going to see
who
that.
obviously don't have kids, because where else does their free time go?
Right.
Sorry.
So look for Factory Fortress Inc. on My Mini Factory if you want, or just search Trench Crusade and find all of these pages. I'll put links to the contest page and then the late pledge page, so you can take a look. And yeah, really, really fun miniatures.
If by fun stuff you mean grotesquely horrible.
Yes, horrifying. I mean, horrifyingly, yes, grotesque. And so this is kind of kind of demon incursion, and the Crusades extended into basically World War One. Yeah, so it's a
where you get the trenches from.
Trench
Crusade.
That's right.
Trench Crusade, right?
So
what if the Crusades continued up into World War One? Yes.
Yes, exactly. So so check that out and get involved in something that's not 40K. Yes. All right. And speaking of something that is miniatures agnostic, Sqwürmish.
Sqwürmish.
So
that's a great name.
An infectious with a W instead of the. So a game set. This is set in the Vast Grimm universe. So Vast Grimm is kind of a sci-fi horror setting for Morkborg. And this was funded a while ago, and the RPG version of this was funded a while ago. And this is kind of Forbidden Psalm, version of Vast Grimm's RPG. So the Grim Dying Universe is what they call their setting. So a vibrant retro future space punk sensibility. So pairing their established game mechanics and their stunning graphics from the RPG. So yeah, they're using
retro future space punk sensibilities. I'm not I'm not disputing that. I'm wondering, and it's called Grim Dying Universe.
Grim, yeah, yes, vast.
Those
Grim.
things don't match,
Yeah,
right?
Grim,
Okay.
Grim Dying, yes, the Grim Dying usually, yes. So yeah, I looked at this initially, and there was so much, so much more Borg-inspired stuff, and they went a little too far into the doing individual dice colors for every faction and stuff, and so I was like, it didn't feel as like indie as I wanted it to, but it's got interesting art. It's got fun, really crazy, kind of bright day glow art. So for this game, they're working with Saul Blair of Malevoline Minis, to produce 28 millimeter minis for the game. So even though it is a minis agnostic game, you can use their official miniatures that they'll be producing for this campaign. So you're playing a crew of 5. Similar to Forbidden Psalm, in search of fortune, glory, and survival, infected by grim parasites. So there's your grimness, and so they're going to do also in the game itself. There's a wide range of weapons and gear, from throwing bones to pulse rifles to mini boom capital BOOM boxes. So yeah, each mini can be used unique as the character in the crew. So yeah, I guess they're going to do customization for the for the miniatures themselves. So those are STL or resin printed options for the miniatures. So of course this is the rules light Forbidden Psalm mechanic. So D20. The D20 of the RPG in a miniature war game, and they're going to do solo, co-op, or versus, with single one-off scenarios or long-form campaigns, and there are 13 campaigns included in the book.
Oh, I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Brian Cullen of the Vast Grim RPG contributed to this, and Ross Brandt, the other co-creator, has written a number of scenarios, and then of course Saul Blair did the minis. So yeah, I'll put a link to that. That's kickstarting right now.
Getting a bit borged out.
Yes, you're all borked up.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Unless and until someone comes up with like something related to the Swedish chef, I'm borged out.
You're all borged out. Yes. Cooking at the end of the world. And lastly, yes, something we knew was coming. We just didn't know how many years it was going to take. Diamond Comics publishers that held a near monopoly on the comic book industry has now filed Chapter 11.
If they had a near monopoly, why do they have to file Chapter 11?
Well, I think it was mostly their behavior of during COVID. So Diamond was important, when specialty comic book stores became a thing, and you didn't have to go to the drugstore or bookstore to get comic books. There were comic book stores that had collectibles and T-shirts and stuff. Diamond was really, important at getting stuff out there, but they did have such a stranglehold on distribution that a lot of people and a lot of shops too became kind of,
beholden
antagonistic with them. No, just because they were it was so frustrating. They would force certain deals, force you to do things a certain way. You have to buy this many books before you get an alternate cover. All kinds of nonsense that would happen. They played some games during the pandemic, and basically just stopped shipping to everybody. And so then DC and Marvel said, okay, screw you, we're going to go to the big boys, because there are still the Penguin and some of the Random House, the bigger people that deal with, and those aren't the names of the companies, but their distribution is now getting everywhere. It's not as limited as it used to be. So we're just going to leave. So yeah, first DC left, then Marvel left, and then Image and IDW were soon to follow.
So basically, all the comic book publishers found alternate distribution channels that were already established.
Yeah, because Diamond just shut down during the pandemic. They just the publisher said, we cannot do this. We cannot just go out of business for a year and then hope to come back. So unfortunately, they're selling their UK distribution arm, Diamond UK, but also Alliance Games. And I think there's already a bid by a Canadian company to buy Alliance Games, which is their tabletop game distribution. That's going to Universal Distribution of Canada. So yeah, and they also have their they got way too into this. Their collectible grading authority that will rate you a letter grade for your collectible and put it in an acrylic case to seal it from the elements, and you can then put it on auction. Yeah, so their grading authority, and then their merchandise arm, Diamond Select Toys, which I think is all that a GameStop is anymore, is Diamond Select Toys distribution. So here's a quote from from Parker, I think their former. So Diamond has been a linchpin of the comic book industry for over 4 decades, but our priority has been to provide quality services to publishers, retailers, and ultimately comic fans, and we remain committed to finding additional buyers for our businesses. So yeah, they're selling it all off, okay. And but it's leaving a lot of people kind of in the lurch. There's just a lot of like angry comments about things.
It's the internet, Jeremy.
Yes, right. And but I think companies like Modifius, and now we're seeing this with Free League, are doing better at helping small designers distribute their games as opposed to going with somebody like Diamond, who you have no idea.
Purely anecdotal stuff. Maybe these smaller to mid-sized companies have learned from the mistakes of the past and gone, you know what? Let's not do that so we don't fold in 40 years. Although 40 years is still a pretty good run. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Goodman Games had signed an exclusive distribution deal with Diamond about a year ago. So they're going to have to sign another one pretty soon. But yeah, that's why Goodman Games was like showing up on Amazon and stuff, is because they had that deal. But it's also screwed over people, which I was surprised to see, like WizKids. So Nika, NECA, Nika is owed $2.6 million from Diamond because they owe them, and so they're gonna have to try to get this back through these this Chapter 11 proceeding. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, WizKids, that's not good for them to have been screwed around so badly by Diamond. But yeah, so this is the end of. We talked about this. This was I guess it was probably 2020 times when that first happened. So 5 years later, Diamond is no more. I'm sure though that name will be preserved somehow, but all of that original. So yeah, that's a real end of the era too, because I think it's the death of the American comic book as it was. I think we're just going to see digital distribution, on subscription platforms and stuff, because manga, English translated manga, is destroying the American comic book. I mean, just it's dwarfing it. It's one book, like the. What is it, the Demon Hunter or whatever series, one book sells more copies than every other superhero comic published in America. I'm going to have to go in a hot second, but do you think that is because of Demon Hunter itself, or do you think that's because kind of the state of the comic book industry? Or I mean, maybe like a chicken and the egg thing here, right? No, but I think it is just like, it's better storytelling. I mean, people want storytelling and they're not getting that from American comics.
Possibly. Or I'm not involved in comics at all anymore, but like when I was kind of like, that was like early 90s, I'm like, okay, these things don't have alternate covers. These things don't have all the ones that you got to collect. These things aren't available as a subscription service, which is then going to say, sorry, renew your subscription or you lose all your stuff, right?
Yeah. So it's crazy, but yeah. So the end of Alliance distributing your tabletop games, and Diamond getting you your comics. So yeah, we'll see what that does, how that shakes up the industry overall, and especially brick and mortar comic stores. They haven't had a fun time of it through any of this nonsense. Really. All right. Well, that's it for this week. So where can people find you?
I forgot. Sorry, that's real professional. Blue Sky and Instagram, I guess, is still kind of the places I hang out, right?
Red Note? No Red Note? You're not sticking it to the capital
S? Nah, it's hilarious what has happened. I want to see how it shakes out. Too many companies and corporations already have my information. I'm too lazy to go to another place, to be quite honest, right? Nope, I'm like, I've got Blue Sky, I've got Instagram, I check in groups on Facebook occasionally. That's all I can manage, right? Yeah. Anyway, how about you?
Oh, yes. I'm still due to do the January live stream. So that's happening next week, I'm pretty sure.
Still January.
Yes, it's still January, technically. And so Abuse Cartoons is my single panel gag cartoon. You can read that cartoon on GoComics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. Link in the description. And I live stream the drawing of that on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah. And if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
You can do that at patreon.com/upturntable. So tell us what you want to see more of, and just get access to the audio feed of this live stream, as well as the audio versions of our actual plays and all kinds of good stuff that's either available early or exclusively to Patreon, and also YouTube members. So that join button below if you're watching this video, and become a member on YouTube, and that'll give you access also to the Discord, so you can see what we're complaining about on the Discord as far as our actual play schedules and everything.
I guess I got a complaint there too.
Yes. So upturntable.com is the main website, and all social media upturntable. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. Well, sorry about the technical difficulties. I hope I didn't damage anybody's hearing with the go this way a little bit with the whatever microphone was picking that up. Yeah, I think that camera has a really strange, it has like a surround microphone on it, so it must have been, and it's super sensitive too. A few times that we've used it to like record actual play sessions like in person, it gives you, I think, like 5 audio tracks, so like center, left, right, you know, left to rear, right, rear. So it on the actual video itself, when you bring it into Premiere or whatever, there's like 5 pieces of audio on there, and none of them are good. None of them are very usable. So how is everybody doing? Yeah, great to see everybody in the chat. Nice. Bad Mike. Thank you so much for catching that. Yeah, that was a yeah, because there was no source. I mean, there's been no changes, no restarts or anything, and there was literally no audio source. And so then obviously I chose the wrong one. It looked like the right one because it was giving me decent signal, like, you know, in the software. It's like, oh, there's signal, but it's so sensitive, that camera back there is so sensitive that it's hard to tell between this and that. So, yes, super professional. Thank you, Kyle. Oh yeah, we got to get Chris. Yeah, so Chris has the frustration of the daughter at home. So if we wanted to do, like, if Chris wanted to join in one of our, like, kind of Discord audio actual plays, there might be, you know, kid noises the whole time. So that's why we haven't tried anything like that. I think we've only ever done one thing on audio, you know, from home. So we will see. Oh yeah, sorry about that click there. All right, yeah, good to see everybody. Yeah, Carolina and Dude and Claren and Matt, Abyss, of course, and Hodag. Very cool. So what's going on? Yeah, Gotham City, the RPG. Yeah, that's a hard sell. And even, you know, with all the plastic and everything they've done to support it, and they did, from the original campaign, they did, of course, the dice and everything for, you know, themed for every one of the villains and everything. But it's that Q Labs or Q Foundry, whatever they were called, that do all the really intricate engraving in the dice and different colors and stuff, so you can barely read the dice. Like, the numbers are almost indecipherable because there's so much scroll work and complicated, like, you know, their Cthulhu dice and stuff are almost impossible to read. You know, you have to kind of pick them up. That I think that's a 7, but it's got wings. But yes, so yeah, we'll do a yeah, Adam West style Batman would be would be fun. Yeah. Hating masks. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, outgunned or gumshoe. Nice. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was reading about the that King in Yellow supplement, the 80s Japan. It's like, yeah, I don't know if that's, I don't know, for King in Yellow. Yeah, I guess that would be fine. It's pretty much the same kind of experience, but yeah, not a setting that I think is going to work particularly well. I don't know. Oh, good. Yeah, Matt said watch the TMNT video. Yeah, it was fun to. I you know, just rescued as much of that stuff, and I can't believe how about those comics. Some of those comics are so yellowed and stuff because it was very cheap. You know, they printed. It was you know, late 80s, and print houses, like, you know, printing press, like print companies, you know, decided they would do short runs. You know, they'd come up with a format so you could do short run black and white comics, and that was the big birth of that whole industry. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a very early property in that. And I think it was just basically the name and kind of its, like, funny, you know, funny animal gritty approach that made it stand out. And, you know, then it got bought as a kiddie property. And I think that's why the creators, they kind of had two different minds about whether that was a good or a bad thing. But yeah, that's too bad. But, you know, he was one of them bought, like, Heavy Metal Magazine, or was running Heavy Metal Magazine for a while because of that. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, the Palladium's doing that re-release, so and I have no idea when that's gonna be in our hands, but I'll let you guys know. But I thought I wanted to at least go through those books before that came out, because I wonder if they're just doing a straight reprint, or, you know, just kind of hopefully doing better, layout and desktop publishing for the presentation. And I knew they're doing new art and stuff for, the covers are getting refreshed, and they'll do color inside the books. So we'll see. We'll see what. Casting Magic Mind again. Nice. Yes. Our beloved sponsor. Wait, Agent Carolina had a Dennis Leary reference. Oh no, I'd have to go back through chat. Oh man. But yeah, so we're gonna give this a shot tomorrow. Oh, that's right, they did a Gotham. Yeah, they've done a lot of strange DC like TV shows. Yeah, I never watched that Gotham City because that was all like, yeah, basically the periphery of Gotham, or like the early versions of a lot of the big figures in Gotham. I never got into that. Hey, Orcus Dorcas made it in. Nice. Oh, Griff. Hey, how's it going? Oh, wow. From Secrets of Blackmoor. Very cool. Oh, and yes, and Griff, sorry if you're still still watching. I got the book you sent, so I'm gonna do a flip through of something very fun. I don't want to spoil it. I want to be a surprise on the channel. But thank you so much for thinking of us and sending the book from Arnicon. Something a little surprise to look through. Nice. Very cool. Griff had a question. If you were American in Tokyo and needed a job fast to keep from having to leave, what would you look for? Well, just from my experience, the two things that foreigners can get into really fast, of course, English teaching, which Chris is involved in the kind of the management part of it, and IT. They hire a lot of foreigners for IT jobs because most of the certification and all that good stuff is in English. So those are two things. And you can get visa support from those. A lot of the other things, like factory work or farm work or whatever, sometimes you don't get good visa support. Yes, we did that. That's the yes. Thank you so much, Griff, for sending. I got the module. I'll do a video on that. I had to forward it, so it took a while to get to us because I saw it hit the mailbox and then had to forward it. So it's been taking a ridiculous amount of time for stuff to show up. But yeah, thanks so much. I'm really excited to take a look at that. So that's the Rob Kuntz module from Arnicon. Yay! Nice. Oh, are you guys seeing us? The burning. We're not on fire here. We're just running one of those heaters. Those I forget what they're called, but just those electric heaters that aren't fan for, the parabolic heaters. They're not fan for, so they don't make a lot of noise. Except sometimes they click on and off. But it's the only thing that would work to have on. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Oh, that sucks. Yeah. So Paul's saying, plenty of other routes to go for game distribution, right? The bankruptcy is mostly going to hurt indie comics publishers. Yeah, I imagine, because that was the way. If you figured out how to navigate them and work with Diamond, the solicitations they did in their magazine. I mean, that was huge to be totally unknown. Pay for an ad to kind of promote your book. Through Diamond, and shops would order it. And so, people like, late 80s, early 90s, people were making a living publishing monthly black and white comics. That's, it's a shame that's, things have moved on in different ways. I think those same artists could probably support themselves with Patreon and stuff now in that same way. Nice. Paul's here for the gaming and comics talk. Yes. Yeah, we had to end with the Diamond bankruptcy. Yeah, but it sounds like they really blew it with their handling. They pissed so many people off during the pandemic that they had people jump ship. But I think actually DC, because of the Warner Brothers and ownership and all that stuff, or whatever it is now, it's like Discovery, whoever the hell owns DC now. They figured they could probably do it better themselves, and with the kind of constriction, the shrinking of the American comics market, it's probably really hard to you definitely have to streamline that process and just to get things out there, because the number of books sold for even big titles, Batman, Spider-Man stuff, is tiny compared to what it used to be. So yeah, I don't know, and I wonder if they've done much with, because I know both Marvel and DC have their own subscription services to read digital comics, and Comixology got folded into Amazon, got bought out by Amazon, but that's another way to read comics and purchase like individual digital issues. I wonder how that's doing. I wonder if that's it can be doing great because things aren't really expanding, but we'll see. Yes. Nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks so much for sending that book. That was a great surprise. And I'll get a video on that soon so people can see the book. Yeah, that was very cool. Nice. Yeah, that's probably true, Griffiths. People have forgotten to read, so they don't buy comics anymore. Yeah, it's a shame, and I think they've shifted to a lot of cheaper writers that don't do anything great. Just a lot of real agenda-driven, real political writers that kind of screwed up a lot of characters for both Marvel and DC. So I think that's hurt the readership, like people that would buy physical books, that probably weren't interested in digital subscriptions. They chased a lot of them away, and then with all the distribution trouble, who knows? But yeah, those numbers are ridiculous. Like a single title of translated Japanese manga sells more than the entire American comic industry. That's really, those are some problems. It's really tough. Yeah, I think Paul's right. Yeah, they still read. They switch to manga. Yeah, American comics are a mess, and it's just. But unfortunately, manga in the U.S. also has the kind of sushi problem, is because it was it's not native. Americans pay way too much for sushi, and it's very low quality, not very good sushi, but you pay premium prices, and it's not a premium food in Japan. It's a very affordable, very easy to access food here, but because it's of its exotic kind of import quality. But so I think manga has that problem too, because I remember the Tokyo Pop and the Viz manga stuff in the 90s. That stuff was at a premium price, and they weren't even using decent paper to produce those books, but you were getting a single issue printed on barely better than newsprint was $10 back in the 90s per book, and there was maybe 40 of those, 30 or 40 of those for a series. And those books in Japan are $3, and with the weak yen, probably cheaper than that. So it's and those are printed on amazing paper that doesn't yellow, that's going to last forever, very high quality printing. But then they also do the weekly comics that are printed on garbage, rainbow colored paper with half ink stuff, just to get the story. So the emphasis for manga is story, characters and story. I mean, it's definitely its own thing. They do they have their own tropes and their own cliches and stuff, but I think Americans are getting interested in manga because of that emphasis on exciting storytelling, and also genres. The Japanese manga has genres. Much more diverse than just superhero stuff, and a lot of kind of postmodern or kind of deconstructionist versions of their original kind of manga storytelling. So it's people that have been born and raised on manga telling those stories now, so they're doing very interesting stories. But yeah, it is very it's its own thing though, so I think it's not completely. I don't think a lot of people that really like American comics and how Western comics and in European comics as well, that type of storytelling, I don't think everybody will be a manga fan just because of how it relies the certain kind of things that it relies on, and it's repetitive in certain ways, and there's certain things that I don't think are completely compatible with American comics readers. But as far as the artwork and dynamic layouts and just basically an enjoyable plots, I think that's something that's died a long time ago in American comics. Yeah. Same here, Griff. Yeah, I was a comic reader from the definitely the 70s and 80s. Much more, and then the 90s thing, like it just got that whole comic speculators market, where all the metallic covers and all the crazy that weird thing about you have to buy like multiple copies of a single issue because you have to, and they would come pre-bagged, like the special covers would come pre-sealed in plastic bags and stuff. That speculator thing that happened, with baseball cards and everything in the 90s really ruined things. That kind of weird bubble. Yeah, and Cal's, same thinking too, Cal. Just wait for graphic novels so you can get the whole run of something that was good instead of things that kind of come and go. That was always the thing that I hated reading comics. Like you were reading a story and then it comes to an end, and then the artist and writer change in the next issue, and you're like, do I want to keep buying this? Yeah. So, like story arcs and runs in comic series in American comics, there's some good stuff, but you gotta suffer through some bad stuff as well. But that's so different though, because America doesn't really have those anthology, is that the word? But the kind of episodic, or not episodic, the like heavy metal or like 2000 AD, where it's a piece of the story every month. Anthology, I guess. Yeah, anthology comics. Like America never really did that. They just did the monthly issues. So those are a whole nother thing too, because they have a lot of that, like a Jump. What's it called? I forget the company. Shonen Jump, and a lot of the weekly comics here are those anthology where it's just like 5 or 10 pages of a story weekly, and then they release them collected. But that's a whole nother thing, because then you'll buy books and there's parts of them that you won't even read. So those those big Shonen Jump come out every week here for like, I guess it's getting up there now, a little bit more expensive, like maybe $3 or $4. But there's some of those stories that you don't read. You just you just skip every week because they're not good. Yeah, serials. Thank you, Matt. But yeah, America didn't really. I think like Epic magazine, like the Marvel tried to do its own kind of heavy metal thing. I think there were a few of those kind of serial books, but yeah. Nice. Oh yeah, there was Paul's asking about that. Yeah, ElfQuest. Chaosium was. They were talking about doing a reprint. I don't know if it was a crowdfunding or if we just heard like news about that. If they did a crowdfunding thing, but yeah, there was ElfQuest was back in the news not that long ago. Yeah, doing a reprint. Yeah, right. So no new edition, just nice. Youthful financial mismanagement. Yeah, that's too bad that you get to that point in your life where you're just like, oh, all of the things I used to have. That's depressing. Yeah, Griff. There's a lot of genres in Japan for manga. Yeah, one of the. Oh no, I guess it has. I don't think it's made it to the to retail bookstores, but the secret, probably very popular genre of digital manga in the U.S. is the boys love genre. So there's the confusing romantic adventures at all boys schools, all boys high schools, and kind of the what they call the schools with dormitories. So yeah, that is a huge genre in Japan that I don't think they really know about in the U.S., but it has made it. So one of the companies that I worked with said, yeah, we translate a lot of those, and they had a digital sales, and they said the digital sales between like 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. just like go through the roof. All of the boys love comics. So there's a ton of genres. It really does, like there's kiddie, like the really kind of preschool cute, but not the super cute like Sanrio stuff, comics, all the way to like very dark, very sophisticated kind of adult comics and horror and stuff. Yeah, they didn't have anything like any comics code or anything in Japan to screw up their industry here, so they have a huge range of stuff. So it's very interesting and different, and I think a lot of stuff that they couldn't actually bring to the US. I don't know how well it would do. Oh yeah, Heavy Metal's back. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think they're reprinting a lot of the old classic stories, and but I thought I saw something that they were doing some new. They're gonna do maybe a more premium version. They're gonna come back monthly, but I don't know. I don't know if the I don't know if they can get the same level of artists that the classic kind of 70s and 80s heavy metal had, especially if they're going to just rely on American. I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's right. Was it the Frank Miller Wolverine series? $500 and $90. Wow. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Comics. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was so interesting. Just remembering that time, like that was most Americans' like first exposure to European comics, to like a lot of the French and Italian comic artists that came through heavy metal. But here we are, says Paul. Much like the Call of Cthulhu RPG. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's very true. That is a huge market here, and I think Japan relies very much on that, women being good customers. They even modified like Valentine's Day here because men wouldn't buy expensive chocolate for women, so they reversed Valentine's Day because women were much better consumers, and but that backfired on them because now it's just devolved into women buying chocolate for themselves on Valentine's Day, and the birth rate declines even more. Yeah, that's cool though. I hope that there can be some heavy metal can come back in some sort of because didn't something happened? Yeah, I don't remember the decline and how it kind of died off again. But one of the Turtles guys was running it for a while, and that's why his wife was on so many covers. And I think they met. He was like standing in an autograph line. That's how they met. Julie Strain. I'm not thinking of any of these names. Is that who I'm thinking of? Yes. And Yeah, so all the like early 2000s, 90s, early 2000s. So who am I thinking of? Kevin Eastman, that's right. Yeah, I remember he was kind of in biker mode in the 90s, early 2000s, and running heavy metal, and married a heavy metal model. Oh, but they divorced in 2006. So maybe once he left heavy metal, she left him. Yeah, it says 95 to 2006. So funny. But yeah, he told this story at one of the Comic-Cons about them. You know, he was just a fan, you know, trying to get a photo signed in line. And he's like, oh, wait, you're one of those turtle millionaires. Maybe we should date. Yeah, funny. Nice. Yeah, good to see everybody. Oh, cool. Oh, is it still going on? Or is that, did it finish the heavy metal? Oh, no, it's still. Oh, yeah, that Frazetta cover is awesome. Nice. Yeah, I think for a lot of artists and illustrators, that was really inspirational to see a lot of that. A lot of the, you know, you didn't really have access. There were no other ways unless you went to Europe to see European comics work, and how different it was. The kind of stories that they were telling and everything, very different. Wow, lots of collectibles too. Nice. Yeah, I hope that comes back in some sort of interesting way. Nice. Oh, Matt said, I thought it was funny in your unboxing of TMNT, you read a passage where they acknowledged that you could use the book with other games, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because what was it, Champions, or what was no, I forget, whatever Palladium's superhero game was, they kind of made it compatible with that, because I think it was basically using the same system. So you could make a turtle and put him in your superhero game, or make a superhero and put him in your turtle game. Yes. No way, Palladium has credits now in their books. Oh no. Nice. Yeah, really interesting. So yeah, we'll have the let me I'll run this again, Matt. Our little trailer here. Wait, I'm not here. Let me add this real quick. Yes. So one more time with the the leastest mostest. So yeah, tomorrow in place of our actual play. Oh, now it's gigantic. Let me shrink it down a little bit here. So one more time with the trailer. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, tomorrow, instead of running Alien or anything, we'll be playing a game that was developed by Matt. Sorry. All right, so tune in for Leastest Mostest, and I'll try to stop that from playing again tomorrow at this time. And yeah, thank you, Matt, for making that happen. So Matt's found some hard questions for us. Great. I can't wait to humiliate myself. But it should be fun. And if this is something like, if we can get the bugs worked out, like technically how we can present it, that would be fun to have some, returning champions and some, contenders, some new people going for the title. So, of course, then Matt's going to have to come up with questions for the rest of his life. But, yeah, should be fun. Nice. Yeah, so take a quick break. Oh, but I did see we just got, I think it's kind of mostly intended for convention play, and it's got a scoring, it's got its own kind of scoring system, so I think it is like a competitive module. But did you see or get the notice for the Sinking Tower for Dragonbane? That might be something, if you don't mind, returning to the pre-gen characters that we ran for the Rittermund. That might be fun to revisit those characters and do another crawl, kind of one shot with Dragonbane. I was looking for because we should do the their campaign, but I think if we can just squeeze in a one shot, that might be fun. So the Sinking Tower, I just got a notification. It's just a free PDF, and I think it's supposed to be used as a one shot adventure for conventions. But maybe that would be fun for the channel, and Matt can get back to his duck his duck character. But it might be fun, and there's two additional pre-gens that they added, so we could even add Terry to the group, and then just decide who's going to be NPCs and who keeps going. But yeah, that would be fun. But we can talk about that in a bit. But yeah, getting back to Dragonbane would be awesome. Nice. Oh, good night, Orcus. Thanks for stopping in. Nice. I'll cover my ears, Matt. Yes, unfortunately, that's been the difficulty. Is Matt's putting everything together, and I'm trying to assist with graphics and stuff. But if I'm gonna be in the as a contestant, I can't know too much because I have to be at this kind of same level of everybody else. But yeah, should be fun. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, yeah, I think we can wrap it up for this week. So, Leastus Mostus coming tomorrow, and yeah, and we'll talk about the future games on the for our actual plays. Nice. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us, and yeah, and Paul for stopping in for the comics talk, and Griff, thank you so much for sending the book. Yeah, it's a shame. I'll talk about this in the video, but I was in the U.S. in October when you guys were holding the Arnicon, and there was just no way I could get there, but that would have been really, really cool to see. But yeah, it just impossible. My very limited time, and I was too far south to make it practical, and just a little bit of domestic flying I had to do. The connections and stuff was miserable, so yeah, couldn't make it work. Thanks. Yeah, I'll give it a look and have a show a video off soon. But thanks so much for everybody for joining us, and thank you to the patrons and members for keeping us going. And yeah, so we will be back about this time. Nice. Yeah, I should actually, that was not a bad time to travel, like price wise and weather wise and everything. That ended up actually being pretty good. So yes, I really want to do that. I don't think I'm going to travel just for something as like overwhelming as Gen Con, but That would be very cool. Ornicon would be good. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow for the Listus Mostis, and be back again next week for the weekly. So thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks for the support. We really appreciate everything you guys do for the channel. And so be back again soon. Goodbye.